Thank you. You know, I heard Hannah on Tuesday at the Louisville Ballet do an incredible poem that was choreographed, and it was so powerful. And the crowd that was at the ballet stood up and gave her a standing ovation. And then I realized I was speaking after her today. But I feel very humbled to be up here on the stage and tell you a little bit of my personal narrative with this incredible group of women, and talk to you a little bit about how feminine wisdom and sacred insight and listening has influenced my personal narrative, my personal story. So I thank the festival for that. But starting with feminine wisdom, I really owe everything to the women who raised me, and I know probably many of you feel that way as well. And it goes back to my grandmother and her many sisters. And my grandmother was just an incredible woman. She was very strong, and she was a farmer. And my grandfather had died when he was young, and he had left her to run that farm on her own. And I watched her as she took care of till crops, tobacco, and livestock, and she did this really all by herself. And I spent nearly every weekend and most summers with her up in Nelson County on her farm in Bloomfield. And I realized that though she was not a woman of many words, she was a very quiet woman, actually, how much you can learn from example. And she taught me the value of hard work and loyalty, responsibility, and the joy of routine, and the beauty of our natural environment. And at the farm, there were none of the distractions that youth and children have today. I felt like I had nature that could nourish my creativity and space so that my imagination could grow. Now I chase my children off the electronics every second I get. I'm about to throw them out the front door, to be honest with you. But when I was back in Louisville, life was very different, and my mother had left the farm when she was a young woman, and she wanted to be in the city. And though we didn't have a lot of money, my mother's curiosity and interest in the arts really did shape my childhood. And I spent my childhood going to cultural programs all throughout the city with her, seeing old movies, going to festivals, going to plays and musicals. We're so blessed here in Louisville to have the community we have now and then. And she got me involved in dance, as many things as she could, and those experiences with her really widened my horizons, and they nourished my imagination. But really, more than anything, now that I look back on it, it was just the time that I had with her as well, and this time that you can't get back with these wonderful women that I love so much. In the fourth grade, I discovered the joy of playing an instrument, and I joined the school band and started playing flute, and I was a natural, and I played all the time. Instead of electronics at the kitchen table, I had my flute. I would take it out in the car and play it. I would, before bed, have it in the bed with me, and my mother would chase me off of playing the flute, but I really did love it. And what I realize now is that through music, I learned the art of listening and how important listening is. I played music all throughout school and then beyond that, and when I think about it, I spent thousands of hours really learning and practicing listening, because when you're a musician, you have to listen to all of those that are around you. Are you in tune? When do you come in? Do you need to play softer or louder? How are you with the ensemble? And you have to listen to the conductor. And the conductor, if you really listen to them, and they're a good conductor, not all are good, but if they're a good conductor, they can just bring things out in you and you can hear the passion in your music. So I look back and I really realized that I have been practicing listening for a very long time. And in high school, I had a transformative experience. I had a music teacher who felt that I should audition for a program called the Governor's School for the Arts. And for those of you all that don't know about the Governor's School, it's a program of the Kentucky Center where I now am the president and CEO. And I was fearful. I didn't want to do this program. I didn't want to leave home for 3 weeks, and I honestly didn't think that I would make it in. But I did, and in this instance, I trusted my teacher even when I doubted myself. And I learned that our greatest life experiences really do require a leap of faith. And unfortunately, there have been times when I haven't been a good listener. When I was a mother of 3 and working, burning the candle at both ends, I skipped many physical appointments, skipped many doctor's appointments, and although I was tired and I knew that I wasn't feeling well, I had more important things to do. When I finally got into a physical, I found that I had stage 3 breast cancer, and I went to treatment, and it's been a long time in treatment, and it's been a long road, but now I'm 5 years out of that, and thank you. So it was a painful lesson, and about the importance of listening to your inner voice and yourself. And I think listening to yourself just may be the hardest type of listening to do sometimes. And 4 years ago, I became president of the organization that I love, the one that I had grown up going to with my mother, and the one that got me involved and showed me a vision for the arts at the Governor's School. And I became the first female president and the first Kentuckian, actually, something that I'm very proud of, to lead the Kentucky Center. I take my job at the center very seriously because there it's a place where memories are made and families are bond, mothers and daughters come together. People of all walks of life come together. We believe the center is for everyone, and they share common experiences, and their differences can disappear and common ground can be found through the arts. I've been told that I'm a different type of leader from the center in a good way, and I believe that my style of leadership is built in great part on the lessons that I've learned from feminine wisdom and lessons I've learned through the arts. Lessons like those my grandmother taught me, the actions that she showed me do speak louder than words, and lessons of hard work and loyalty, consistency, and unwavering love can be demonstrated without uttering a syllable. Lessons from my mother, who valued experiences more than things and understood the importance of education and the arts as essential to the development of mind and spirit. That to put on an incredible performance takes hours of practice with members of an ensemble listening to each other and to the conductor. I have an incredible team at the center, and we really pull together to inspire the work of the artists in our community that happen there. And that sometimes when you doubt yourself, you need to listen to those you trust, or you just might miss out on something extraordinary. And that you must listen to your inner voice. There is a great deal of noise in this world of ours, and sometimes our own voice is the softest and the last to be heard. Failing to listen to yourself can have devastating consequences. So I've chose to spend over 25 years working for the arts in our community, and I know that the arts can inspire our community if we only listen. I've shared with you my story today, the importance of feminine wisdom and the power of listening. Stories are powerful. I'm reading a book right now with my daughter, and it's called 100 Stories of Rebel Girls, and she's 11 years old. And each page features a different woman who listened to their inner voice and accomplished something extraordinary and changed the world. I've struggled to get her excited about literature, and she wants to read this book every night and sometimes stories again and again. So I'd recommend it to anybody with their child. My hope for you is that we all have a story to share, and I hope you share your story with your children and grandchildren, to friends and neighbors, to those you love, for a better tomorrow. I thank the Festival of Faiths for strengthening our community through interfaith education and dialogue and celebration, and I look forward to joining each of you for Listen, Feminine Wisdom. Thank you very much for letting me share my story with you today.